Howdy, y'all. Today we are going to be covering the beginning buying process of, well, one, I guess, starting our business, but two, once we got our business started, kind of the cost of what it took, how that process went, and then the purchasing or the locating, the research that went into finding our truck, picking the truck, and then how much or the cost of the truck, and then picking it up and bringing it home. So if you don't already know, I'm Daniel, this is Claire. I am the owner-operator of Frank's Towing, and she is, we'll give her a few titles. She is the bookkeeper.
How about the owner-manager?
Owner-manager, bookkeeper, she's the accountant. She's the scary lady that follows up with people when they don't pay us. She wears many hats in our business, but the first hat that she wore was establishing our business as a CPA in a sense, but among different things. So I'll let her kind of give you what that first month of starting our business was like and all the different things she had to do.
So back in May, we sat down and we started doing our research to figure out what we need to do. We filed with the state for our LLC. We did decide to go that route rather than, an incorporation or an S corp or anything like that. Then from there, we also had to file with the state or maybe with the city for our business license. And then along with that, as far as like bank accounts, things like that, we then started researching the industry and different trucks and how we might stand out. And we came up with a business plan because we were planning on getting a startup loan to cover not only the truck costs, but also our other startup costs as well. Quickly found out through all that, through the research and through talking to banks and different lenders, they want to see, 1 to 2 years of business before giving out business loans. So we went a different route, and we ended up going with, lending options through the truck dealership to finance, to buy the truck, and then to start driving and start working. But I'll let Daniel cover how we figured out where our truck's coming from.
So the purchasing of a tow truck, as with most work vehicles, can be quite a strenuous process. I reached out to multiple different fabricators, companies that make these trucks. They buy the truck and then they put the body on. And we knew from previous experience that we wanted to go with a Jeriden setup, specifically the MPL 40, which is a dual line boom truck, and we knew that's what we wanted. So we started in Florida, worked our way across the southern part of the U.S., and one random afternoon, I was part of many tow truck buying groups. A post was on Facebook for a company out of Kenton, Ohio, and so I clicked on it, looked at it, and lo and behold, they were a Jeriden dealer. And so we reached out to them, inquired if they had a quad cab or a crew cab, Ram 5500 with a 4x4 setup and a MPL 40, and sure enough,
they were building two.
They were building two. So at this point in time, we had no finances available. We had, between the two of us, maybe $6,000.
Very casual.
Yes. And we kind of looked at each other and we were like, all right, well, my mechanical experience at that point in time, or even to this date, is still lacking as in comparison to many of the owner operators. And so we knew that we wanted to buy something new, something that had a warranty, just to kind of protect us out the gate. And so through talks with Riggs, they were able to set us up with their lending company, their financing company, and we were very blessed within the, let's say, about a 2-week period to have all these things come together rather quickly. From the end of May to the beginning of June. June 5th is the day we signed paperwork, excuse me. So it was a very quick process. They just happened to have, which is very wild. It's hard for, it's hard for me to fathom the fact that it was what we wanted, and all of a sudden, after a couple days, it was just there one afternoon.
Essentially, Bernice fell into our lap, and we welcomed her with open arms.
Very,
Bernice being our
very open arms. And so we confirmed all the paperwork. We were able to get the money allocated for the down payment. We bought our tickets.
We were on a plane by June 3rd from Washington to New York to Columbus,
Ohio.
Driving out past all these pastures and farms out into the middle of Ohio.
Yep. And
signed the final pieces of paperwork and took our picture in front of the truck and checked her out. And
so the funny story behind that is when we got there, I had created this checklist on the airplane of all the things I needed to, go over, make sure these things worked, everything was good, and just, being safe. We had a 2,600 mile drive home, and I told Claire that I would get excited and forget to do it, and sure enough,
that did happen. I was
exactly
going through the checklist. I was like, okay, what are we doing now? What is this? Check this. He goes, oh, it's fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
We got it.
Like a little, as people say, like a fat kid loves cake. I had no idea what to do with myself. I was beside myself because, well, I was looking at a dream, a dream come true, and an opportunity to change the destiny of our young family at that point in time. So here we are now, after purchasing that truck.
About 5.5 months later, and she's running like a workhorse.
Yeah, she's a champ. We're in at 35,000 miles in 5 months. And for those daily drivers, they'll understand that's a lot of miles. That is an insane amount of miles. But
it was just to go back to the beginning, it was a quick 2 months between finally deciding let's do it and filing the paperwork.
Not even 2 months, it was a month.
Yeah, it was a month.
May to June.
I guess so, it was a month.
But I think one of the things specifically that we'll touch on real quick is the process of the buying process of the truck. I think something that's really underestimated in the world is how much a truck like this costs. From the labor that's put in, and let me tell you, the amount of work I can only imagine goes into putting a truck like this together, because you have so many lines, lights, wires, hydraulic systems, all these things have to come together as one. So one of the things that is overlooked is the cost of one of these trucks, and I think that's something we'll dive into on our next little video, is the cost of what it takes to run a business, the truck, and all those things.
And if you live in a state like us in Washington, where there's a lot of sales tax, make sure you get that roped into your lending process, because that was one mistake we've now learned from.
Yeah, we won't make that mistake again. But it is what it is. Live and learn.
But that's our first month and a half of starting Frank's Towing.
Yeah. So y'all be safe, and God bless you.